Let's talk about fishing industry buybacks. That is basically having governments, state or federal, buying back fishing licences to reduce the effort in the fishery. Currently, with their handout, is the Gulf St Vincent prawn fishers. Their submission to the state's Natural Resources Committee on Sustainable Fisheries in October still has me scratching my head to work through the contradictions. They acknowledge their overfishing has caused the collapse of the industry twice, and now they want half the fleet, that's 5 of the 10 licences, bought out to reduce the effort. That is, they want us, the taxpayer, to buy out their competition. Last year, Neil MacDonald, the Executive Officer of Gulf St Vincent Prawn Boat Owners Association, told the committee the fundamental issue that caused this fishery to collapse twice previously was the number of licences. That is, there were too many people trying to make a living out of the available prawns. There's been up to 22 licences in the fishery, and their best year produced 600 tonnes. That 600-tonne catch led to the first collapse of the fishery, leading to closures and an initial round of buyouts. A collapse is when the resource is severely overfished. Mr MacDonald said Gulf St Vincent has just been a complete basket case because of the management approaches that have been taken in this fishery. And a Consearch report says the optimum number of boats in the fleet should be 5, and that the fishery should be able to sustain catches of around 300 to 320 tonnes. But MacDonald said it could produce a higher tonnage. Then a major contradiction just a few minutes later when his president Jim Raptis said, "The problem with this fishery is that it can only sustain a 250-tonne catch average per year. It will continue to produce that amount year after year, and it's not going to get any better than it is now," he said. During the last buyback, it cost the industry and government almost $3 million to remove 6 licences. MacDonald said a buyback this time would enable fishers to at least exit, having received a value that is appropriate to what a business would be worth had they remained. However, 3 of the licence holders just don't fish, so their business is worth 0. So why compensate them when they've made a decision not to fish because it's not economical for them? I mean, if you have 10 butchers in Salisbury when it can only support 5, then 5 go out of business. You can't ask the government to buy them out, so what's the difference? Why use public funds in a buyback to get rid of your competition so you can make more money? Or PIRSA can just cancel the licence if it hasn't been regularly fished for the past 2 years. MacDonald told the committee about $2 million plus per licence would be needed to fund a new buyback. But what I say is why? Let the market forces determine who stays and who goes. I mean, it works in all other forms of business that require licences to operate. This is what happens when you collapse a resource by overfishing, and you can't blame it on recreational fishers.